Notably, Capco is able to reduce its waste pyramid by over 13% from 2019 to 2020. So we increased production rates by 76%, but we're able to reduce our total waste output by over 13%. Furthermore, we are able to reduce our hazardous waste to product output ratio by nearly 67%. So that means for every product Capco manufactured in 2020, we produced 67% less hazardous waste than we did in 2019. These were substantial values for us. We know that there was a big leap from 2019 to 2020, but we expect to see very similar results in 2021. All right, so to look into the future, what Capco is working at is reducing or eliminating our 200 plus waste streams. Some known issues that we seek collaboration with all of you with are circular economies or reduction of municipal waste streams, including recyclables, solid waste, and compostables. We know that there's been an active and sought compostables program in Mesa County, especially for commercial businesses. You could, as an individual, take your composting to Colorado Mesa University, but as a business, unfortunately, they won't take it. So we know that's a huge push from our end. We also want to increase our municipal recyclables. And yeah, we were talking about it earlier, Holly, about Country Jam and those recycling cans just sitting out and not being used properly. We found that became a really big problem with our recyclable streams internally, and because they were so dirty, they were all being sent to the landfill anyway. So we're trying to actively engage with our community internally to make sure that everybody's recycling properly. We're also looking at creating reuse versus recycling or destruction of commonplace items such as drums, pallets, and paints. At one point, Mesa County Solid Waste Management was coming around and picking up our pallets, especially at the beginning of COVID, because they couldn't get shipments of pallets in for what they needed. We have nearly 200 pallets set up right now that could be taken and reused. They could be used for all sorts of different things. So we know there was an economy for those at one time, and we'd like to get that going again. Drums are another one. We have a lot of chemicals that come into the facilities. We use them to plate products. That eventually gets used up, and now we're left with an empty drum. They're perfectly good drums. They get cleaned, so we're looking to get rid of those in a reuse fashion versus just recycling them. Other things we're looking to do is reducing our carbon footprint and offsetting any internal issues. So we have just a few items that use greenhouse gases. We have a couple of ovens to do glass flow processes, and we have our HVAC systems. But with nearly 400 employees, we're looking at reducing their greenhouse gas emissions for commute to work. So we're looking at using bike to work days, carpool days. We're looking at doing a bus system. We're trying to get people, encourage them to use the Grand Valley Transit. But we know there's going to be a long, arduous hill to climb. We're also looking to eliminate listed hazards, including methyl alpha ketone, acetone, cadmium, silver, and a few other items, just to make sure that we're reducing the end market for those, so there be less produced and less time on the roads with them. One of the big things that I wanted to talk about too, as DoD contractors, when we set a contract with the government, oftentimes it's based on government documents, and they dictate how we do our business. We don't have a ton of wiggle room in those documents, but we do have enough that we can reuse products a little bit more often. So as we move into newer opportunities with those contracts, we're hoping to be able to reduce our footprint. And then in the future, the government will be able to reduce their footprint utilizing the same contracts that Capco has.